It has been almost a year since the last 4-star released in Wuthering Waves, but now we finally have a brand new 4-star in Buling. So obviously I'm going to need to pull for her because we don't get too many 4-stars in Wuthering Waves, and to be fair, they're never really that good. But she looks interesting and looks like she has some pretty fun attacks. Now, I don't really care for the 5-stars. I already have Fall Over and her weapon, and I don't really care about Cantarella, but we are at 1 pity for a 5-star, so hopefully we can see a 4-star relatively soon. We can just grab a Buling and we can mess around with her builds a bit. So because I just don't have a Cantarella, I'll do my pulls on Cantarella's banner, and let's make this really, really easy. 4-star straight off the bat. We do get a 4-star straight off the bat. Buling.
Boss, what matter do you seek answers for today?
Well, there we go. Literally a singular pull, and we have a Buling. Perfect, that is all I wanted. And now I don't need to risk any more pulls, and we can get to building. I assume the leveling up process should be pretty easy. It is generally pretty easy to level up characters in Wuthering Waves, and if we're missing anything, like apparently we're missing a lot of these, we just use the quick upgrade and synthesize things, or get it from supply packs. Although unfortunately, it looks like I don't have enough boss drops. So we need to go run whatever this boss is. Now luckily, because she is a 4-star, she doesn't have the 5-star problem of needing a signature weapon, because it seems like in Wuthering Waves, the 5-stars really want their signature weapon. Now I don't know what weapon I will run on her. I actually don't even remember what weapon type she is. So actually, let me double check that. What are you? You run rectifiers. Okay. Well, I mean, I have fallovers. I forget whose this is. Otherwise, we have the standard 4-stars that would also be half decent. But I will just have to see what she actually does, and then I can figure out weapons and echoes from there. Okay, well, there is all of the runs I can do for today. We can get you up to level whatever this is now, level 70. Level 80 will also not be a problem. There's level 80, and then level 90. Are we gonna have enough? Oh god, we don't have enough boss drops. I also need some more flowers. Well, let's get 15 more of these. Then I need to go farm the flowers, and then we should be sweet from there. So let's get Buling up to level 90. Very quick as usual, level 90. Now this stuff is going to be interesting, but as I said, I don't know what she does. So now I'm going to actually go through and read some stuff and figure out what those abilities actually do. Okay, so I have looked a little bit through Buling's kit, and I have a rough idea of what she does now. She is basically another version of Verina, kind of. She is a support, she heals, and she can boost resonance skill damage. So we probably want to use her with someone like Carlotta or I think Fall Over. People who mainly do resonance skill damage, that's who we want to run Buling with. So we are going to start there and mess around with her supportive capabilities. And then because I like to do it, I might try to get her to do some damage, but I don't think her damage is particularly high. So weapon-wise, it is pretty easy. We're just going to run the variation. We will get back to echoes. First, I'm going to deal with fortes. We don't really need to do too many of them, I don't think. I don't think she actually really needs any of them leveled up to do good stuff. But I am going to level up her forte circuit and her intro skill and normal attack a bit. The resonance skill is pretty useless. She doesn't really use it. And this resonance liberation you basically never want to use. So I'm mainly going to focus on her forte circuit, and then I might do these as well for a bit more healing. But first we'll get all these secondary stuff done. We will get the forte circuit up to as high as we can go for now. And I mean, it probably will be something I'll use the most, so I might as well max it out. I have the resources to do so. So there we go. We can max out the forte circuit. And then for the normal attack and intro skill, I am just going to get them up to like level 7 or so. So there we go. We can get that one up to level 7 as well. And I'm pretty sure we don't even need to worry about these two. So we're just going to leave that. The main one is her forte circuit for the damage, but really for her buffing, you don't need to level up any of them. So that is good enough for now. If I want to level this up further, I can, but I think it's fine for now. So we can move on from the fortes and deal with echoes. Now, as a supportive build, we just run Rejuvenating Glow. It's just easy, and we'll run the Fallacy of No Return as well. We could run Healing Bonus if we wanted, but I think I'll probably end up going with Crit, just because I want her to do a little bit of damage, and her healing isn't necessarily the most important thing for the team. Also, I'm going to do this correctly and only level it up to level 20. Very good thing. Actually, no, wait, it has ER. She really wants ER. So we're actually going to keep that. because it's not terrible. And then we're going to go over to 3 costs and we just want ER on the 3 cost. She very much just needs ER, so we're going to go double ER on the 3 costs if I have any, and try to get her ER to about like 220, 230, something like that. Oh, why, of course, all of my other characters have all the ER pieces. Well, I don't need Baisha to have one, so I can steal that. And I can steal, I guess, Verina's pieces, because Buling does basically the same stuff as Verina. So we'll just steal Verina's pieces. And then 1 cost, we just want to attack. Don't really care about the substats, so I'm just going to max it out. If we can get ER, that would be nice. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. And we get this piece, which is actually also pretty decent. Very, very easy. There is a Buling build. She's running double ER, which is perfect. And that puts her up to 245, which is actually really good. So I think that is all I really need to do. The first thing I'm going to do is with Carlotta, because she is the main skill damage character in the game. Then I think the premium version of this team will be with Jeje. I do not have her though, so I'm gonna have to make do with someone else. I don't really think I'll use Shorekeeper because I don't need Shorekeeper's buffs. That's what Buling's doing, so I guess I could probably just use Sanhua. Might be nice to finally revive my Carlotta because she hasn't been doing too much damage recently, although my comparison is with my pistols only Carlotta, which is S6 and on a signature weapon, so it's not a very fair comparison. But let's see what this does. I guess we can just do the Tower of Adversity. So we start with Buling. I think normal attack 4 times. I need to remember her rotation, then a skill, and then we do heavy attack into another heavy attack, and then resistance liberation, and then we do echo, and then Sanhua, do Sanhua's stuff, which I kind of forget, but we just want to get her outro skill. There we go, and then Carlotta, and we do big damage, hopefully. I can't really see much because the enemies are weak, but that definitely felt like a pretty smooth rotation. Buling definitely has one of the quickest on-field times out of almost any character. Like, it's really, really quick. Just basically do a bunch of normal attacks until we get that, and then we do a skill, and then do 2 heavy attacks with the different types of the thing, the yin and yangs, and then her burst. And then that's about it. We swap out, and she's done. And then we can do Sanhua stuff, and then straight into Carlotta, who is not doing a whole lot of damage because my Carlotta is not the most built. She is definitely doing something, I'll give it that. If we look at a big hit of her burst, it does 81,000, which is not particularly great, but it is definitely not the worst. I feel like I probably need to have a look. I butchered the rotation. Have a look at my Carlotta's build, because I don't know if her echoes are good. But I mean, her skill is doing about 14,000, which, yeah, that's not very good. I believe, though, it is, well, at least it should be more than what she normally does because we're getting skill damage increase from Buling. I also don't know if I'm butchering my rotation for Carlotta because I very well could be. But yeah, I mean, Carlotta's skill is not doing particularly massive damage, but it's not doing the worst damage I've ever seen. Although out of one of the better DPS in the game, I would like to see a bit more. I have a feeling my Carlotta is not on a great build at the moment. Obviously, her weapon is fine. Static Mist is okay. What are your echoes looking like? I mean, that's not terrible. That is attack, Glacio, double. Okay, you know, the echoes aren't great. Let's have a look. Can I fix this? Probably not. Now, I don't know if she wants to be on double attack or double Glacio or whatever she wants to be on. I think she does want to be on attack Glacio. So I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to see if I can fix her build a little bit and get her on some better pieces. Because I would like to see my Carlotta do some half decent damage. Ooh, that's actually kind of good. Resonance skill damage, heavy attack, double crit, and resonance liberation damage. Don't think you could get much better, to be honest. And what do you know, I don't have any other attack pieces, so that's gonna have to do. Now let me have a quick look at the 1 costs. I would like to fix them, because they are also not very good. I do not know why my Carlotta is so underbuilt, considering I do use her relatively regularly, but apparently I just have never got around to actually putting her on a decent build. I really should get around to actually building her properly at some point, but I will probably forget to do that the second I finish recording this video. So that's why we're going to try to get her on a good build while I'm still recording this video. Although, I don't think that's going to happen because we are getting some horrendous luck on all these echoes. I haven't seen a single crit roll for like 10 echoes. You know what, maybe the game just doesn't want me to build Carlotta because I'm seeing literally nothing. I've rolled so many echoes and I've got nothing. Not even a single crit roll. Every piece has just looked like this. Okay, we have one last echo we can do. I'm just gonna max it out because who knows? And what do you know, it's not very good. I mean, that's probably better than this piece, so we'll swap to this, and then, yeah, we don't really have anything better than that. So this piece is gonna have to do. I mean, yeah, I guess I did technically fix Carlotta's build. It is a little bit better now. Not by much, but I think it's a little bit better. So let's do the last floor of the echoing tower. So Buling rotation, there is Sanhua's rotation, and then Carlotta. I already saw a 15,000, so we are doing more damage, which is perfect, albeit not a ton, but there is more damage, so that we'll take it. And the big hit of her burst should hopefully do some more damage. 91,000, that's better. 28,000 I think there from the skill. Buling is definitely increasing her damage though, because I'm pretty sure we were doing substantially less damage before, which is kind of hard to believe considering how little damage Carlotta's doing. But I think we are doing more damage. Plus Buling's doing a little... Okay, never mind. I just saw 440 something from Buling, so she's definitely not helping the damage much. Now, is this damage good enough to actually clear this within the time frame? Yeah, no, definitely not. But I am entirely putting that up to the fact that Carlotta does literally negative damage. Her build is just horrendous. 130,000 though, maybe, I think, if I saw that correctly. Well, we were 15 seconds too slow, but that's something, I guess. Carlotta is doing more damage, believe it or not. So now I want to try out team number 2, which was going to be with Fallover, and I think I will still use Fallover. But I was going to run her with Brochia, but I just remembered Chisa exists, and I believe she does skill damage. The whole chainsaw thing, that definitely does some pretty decent damage. So we would like Fallover, we'd like Chisa, and we would like Buling. Now I believe rotation-wise for this one, we should do Fallover first because of the way her kit works, and then do Buling into Chisa. Honestly, not 1000% sure, but that's what I'm gonna do. This into your burst, and then we do Buling. Then I don't have your burst up because you have an unbelievably high burst cost. Your energy is insane. Thank you. Burst. And then we go to Chisa and do your whole stuff. Do a bunch of normal attacks. And then we can do big skill damage, hopefully. And I see... Boom. 52,000 actually. That's not the worst. I honestly don't remember how much he was doing before, but I believe it was closer to the, like, 30 odd mark. So 52,000 is not bad. This team definitely actually does work relatively well. I don't know if it's like the best team you can run with Buling, but it is pretty fun and it does work relatively well, especially considering if you're using Fallover, I believe you'd also want to use Cantarella, who I don't have. So Chisa works as a pretty decent substitute there, as well as also doing some more healing and shielding for the team, which is always good for sustain. And doing 120,000, but that is because of the Havoc damage buff. That also might be why Chisa is doing more damage from her skill, is because of the Havoc damage buff that is currently in this floor. But hey, that was not bad. One last thing I want to do, because I have to do it. We would like to go for full DPS build. Let me just steal Changli Yao's build, I guess, because it should be decent. Except I'm going to run double electro damage. And I mean, I don't really have great pieces, but I'm just getting a little rough damage test, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I am aware that Buling doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I'm not really expecting anything from this. I just figured it might be fun to try out. Now, her build is quite sad. It is not very good, and her ER is non-existent, her crit ratio is not very good. But I am going to put her onto Fallover's weapon. So that puts her final stats to 65 to 226 with 1800 attack. I mean, it's not the worst. We want Buling, and then I guess we just go for full supportive. So we do Shorekeeper and then Sanhua. I don't remember the best supports for burst damage, but this will work probably. So we need to do Shorekeeper stuff, which I forget her correct rotation, but I just spam stuff and it works generally. We do Sanhua stuff, and then we do Buling her normal stuff, because we want to get the enhanced burst, and we're going to do Resonance Liberation and see 36,000. You know what? It's not the worst. And then the little hits, they only deal 1,000, which is not very good. But 36,000 is not. It's not the worst damage I've ever seen. Her enhanced, not enhanced. Her charge attacks are only doing a couple thousand. I mean, we almost managed to actually get full stars on this with the Buling. Okay, no, never mind. There's more enemies. We didn't even get close. But yeah, 36,000's it's something, that's for sure. It's definitely a number. But I mean, from a character like Buling that is mainly just here for buffing and healing and doesn't really do anything with damage, 36,000 is not the worst. But definitely, I will be using her on the variation and on Rejuvenating Glow. And now Buling is another support I can use if I need it for a Carlotta team or for a Forlova and Chisa team, which worked okay. I'd assume she'd do pretty similar damage with just a Shorekeeper or something. But if I'm using my Shorekeeper and Verina and stuff in other teams, Buling works. She's a decent option for our Carlotta, especially if I can get my Carlotta on a better build. But yeah, with that, I need to go do another video because I am leaving for birthday and Christmas stuff in a few days. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you like this video, do go check out the last pulling session I did on my main account, which was for the lovely Chisa. And with that being said, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good. Bye.